All right, on my Saturday video, I came out and said that there was opportunity going into this next week, and across the board, most big tech stocks have gone green. But I'm going to take a little bit of an analysis of the charts today, and we're going to find out whether or not there's any buy signals on the daily or the 4-hour time frame for any of the Magnificent Seven. So the question is, what type of day are we really having? Now we're having on the S&P 500, we're having an inside candle day that spent most of the day as a doji. Now, this is largely a neutral day after we had an incredibly bad Friday, a hard sell-off. And so what that basically means is the market has taken a pause from going down and selling at the same level of pressure that it had last week. But the big question that we've got to ask ourselves, is this a dip that's worth buying? Should we be loading our bags on our favorite big tech stocks? Or are we in a very strong continuing downtrend that is yet to turn around? We don't have any confirmation of a V-shaped recovery. Well, we're going to let the charts tell that story. I'm going to go through the Magnificent Seven and let you know whether there are buy or sell signals on any of them today, and some other important indicators as to where we might be going. What is the back test price for each of them? I'm going to let you guys know that. And I'm going to tell you guys where they stand with the moving averages, whether they are above or beneath the 50 SMA. Now, the 50 SMA is this simple moving average, and what it typically tells you is whether a stock is on offensive, moving up, whether the bulls are pushing it higher, whether the bulls are defending a certain level. That would be everything above the 50 SMA. But when you get beneath the 50 SMA, you're not in the hands of the bulls at all. You're in the hands of the bears 100%. And I'm going to let you know which of the Magnificent Seven are still above their 50 SMA and showing some signs of relative strength. Relative strength is a term that's simply used to compare one stock against its peers to give you a sense of which is performing better. There are always better performing stocks, and I'm going to let you know which of the Magnificent Seven are showing us relative strength and are being better performers. I'm also going to let you know how to trade that inside candle day that we're getting on the SPY. What do we have to achieve for this to signal a reversal? Or what do we have to see to get a confirmation that this is just a mild reprieve for a continuation to the downside? I'm going to answer those questions today. I'm going to make it simple in the charts. I appreciate the likes. Hit that like and that subscribe if you need help learning the charts. And if you want even more help from me, you can get it over on the Stocks with Josh Discord. It's the Chart Goat University. I'm going to be dropping a class this week on how to manage your core disciplines in trading and how to grow a small account. And we're going to be doing some live trading this week. Come and check it out. You can learn the charts and you can trade alongside myself and the Crown Traders. I'll leave a link in the top pinned comment. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Apple event today. We need to give them a little bit of a special attention because this is a pretty big day for Apple. Let me just sort of paint the picture for you guys. Tim Cook is out there today on the lawn of, I believe, the Steve Jobs Theater, underneath a giant rainbow, and the day's event is called Glow Time. It's the Glow Time Apple Day. And as I've taken all of that in, it appeared to me that Apple was more focused on their corporate global messaging than they were on becoming the leader in the AI space and delivering AI solutions to their customers. You're going to hear it from me again today that I just don't like what Apple's bringing to the table because it's not AI. Everything they talked about with AI was going to be released in a beta, which meant it wasn't even fully ready. And it's a lot of things that have already been available in other places for the last 2 years. And so I am reminded by the little bit I watched on Apple's big Glow Time Day that they really aren't glowing where they need to be glowing. And that's in the artificial intelligence space. Now, it's really hard to underestimate these guys because they've got deep pockets. They typically have been well managed and well run, and they have huge market share. And so whenever they want to get their act together, these guys could be a monumental player in this space. But every single time we get to another Apple day or another earnings, they just don't seem prepared. And I think it's a huge concern. Wall Street didn't like it, and the stock wasn't up when other of its peers were up today. Just my opinion on Apple. I'd love to hear from you guys whether you thought they crushed it and you thought their showmanship and their parading is going to be able to carry the stock price higher in the days ahead. Okay, let's talk about the Magnificent Seven and the buy-sell signals we're getting on these. Whether this is time to put all your chips on the chips, whether it's time to buy the dip, or whether it's time to avoid these like the plague because they've got more room to the downside. Now, on my Saturday video, I expected this uptick today, but the question is how much higher are we going to go before the selling begins again? All of the Magnificent Seven has been in decline since July. And why do I say that? Because we've not made a higher high, we've just made a lower high. That's a huge problem for big tech right now. So when you look at the SPY, it's got a sell signal on the daily and the 4-hour time frame. And what I'm watching for is a price to get back above 549. That's where the price has to get for this to get interesting. Otherwise, this is just a pause in selling. Apple has a sell signal on the daily and the 4-hour time frame. And what Apple has to do is it's got to get back above $222. And it also is below its 50 SMA. And then you've got Microsoft, same boat. Sell signal daily, sell signal 4-hour time frame, below the 50 SMA. It's got to get back up to $407, and that's where the test begins again for Microsoft. NVIDIA, I hate to tell you that NVIDIA is not a buy right now. It's got a sell signal on the daily and the 4-hour time frame. It's beneath the 50 SMA, which means confirmed decline. It's got to get above 108 to get interesting again. Now, I've kept my buying minimal and small because the selling pressure just seemed to be accelerating last week. And so I cut back what I would normally buy. And I have been communicating that to you guys. Position size, in my last couple of videos, I've said that I've cut it back to about a third of what it normally would be. And so I'm protecting myself in this volatile, choppy market by controlling my position size. I did buy some NVIDIA, and right now I am concerned about holding it, but I will give it a little bit more time. If we get back above 108, I will be green on everything I bought. Okay, Google. Now, I warned about Google about 2 weeks ago. It's one of the worst performers. It's got a sell signal on the daily and the 4-hour time frame. It's beneath the 50 SMA, and it's got to get to $153. That's the area where it's got to test for it to even show any life. Now we've got the outliers. These next two are doing a little bit better than the last 5 I gave you guys for big tech and the SPY. The next two are Meta and Netflix. They have a sell order on the daily and the 4-hour time frame, but they're above the 50 SMA, which means they're not in decline, which means that even though they've been coming down, the bulls are defending. They're defending the move on this. They're fighting the bears more than the bulls are fighting the bears on Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Google. And so we've got to note that. Now, Meta's got to get above 512 and hold that price point for this to even slightly be turning bullish, right? That's the area where we simply might backtest before going lower. Netflix, though, has already gotten up to its level that it needed to get, and that was 677. So I need to see that level hold and continue to climb, and we'll be watching to see if that 4-hour sell signal could get turned into a buy signal. At the moment, Meta and Netflix are doing a little bit better than the rest of big tech. Now, the last two are totally different than the first 6 big tech I gave you, and that's Amazon and Tesla. And the difference there is that on the daily time frame, they both have buy signals, which is pretty powerful. This is telling us that the bulls are absolutely fighting it out on these two. They do have sell signals on the 4-hour time frame, which makes sense because of how hard of a sell-off we got on Friday. But these two could turn around on the 4-hour time frame before the rest of the Magnificent Seven, leaving us with a buy signal on the daily and the 4-hour time frame. So these are the ones that if you're interested in buying right now that you want to pay more attention to. Now, I will tell you, though, that they are also below their 50 SMA, which means that they're in decline. They're not on offense. They're not on defense. They've gotten smacked down and are not out of the bare woods yet. The price on Amazon that we needed to see it hit for there to be a continuation was $175, and it hit that today. So we want to see it stay above that. And the price on Tesla that we needed to see it hit was $218 today, and we need to stay above that price for us to see a continuation. After taking the time to do my homework on all of the Magnificent Seven, the fact is there is nothing here that's screaming buy, buy, buy. What I am seeing is I'm seeing selling and rotation into other sectors, in particular utilities. Now, this is a way of diversifying big tech. And you say, well, how is buying utilities a way of diversifying your big tech position? You've got to have a position in big tech because these are the ones that are going to drive growth in the days ahead. But people are going a little bit more risk off on big tech, and they're putting some money into utilities because utilities is a space that's going to have to grow. For all of these companies to realize their AI visions, they need power, power, power. And so we're going to be going into a time frame of incredible investment in the utilities space and incredible profits in the utilities space. And so there are people that are taking profits in big tech and rolling them over into utilities because they see it as all part of the same AI story. And so utilities are doing well today. We're still dealing with rotation, and we're still moving towards a rate cut. So let's talk about how to trade an inside day on the SPY. That's the one chart I'm going to specifically focus on today because I want you to understand, is there a turning point where this thing goes bullish? At what price do we have to hit for that to happen? Let me show you on the S&P 500, and then you'll understand how to trade an inside day yourself. For an inside day to lean or tilt bullish, we've got to have a full 50% retracement of the candle. And at that point, that price is 545.50 on the S&P 500. And you can see that right now, while I'm making this video, we are pushing up against that price. Now, before market closes, we need to close above 545.50. Does that mean that we're absolutely going bullish? No, it's just simply the first step for a confirmation of a reversal. Tomorrow, we would need to see the candle open and close above 545.50 for us to get a continuation. It's very possible that we could move all the way back to the top of this candle. And as long as we didn't get above it and we stayed beneath 550, this could simply turn into a continuation to the downside. For the majority of time, it's advised not to trade inside candles from a buying perspective because usually they're signaling a continuation. You get 1 or 2 days on the inside of the candle only for this to break beneath the previous low. And so there's a lot of caution, and a lot of traders choose not to trade an inside day like this at all. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin. How's Bitcoin doing right now? Well, we didn't get a beautiful reversal candle from last week. So last week ended bearish, but ever since we dipped beneath 54,000, which was a prediction that I had made that we would come back and hit 54, ever since we came back and dipped beneath that and reclaimed 54, we're steadily moving higher. I'm going to give you guys the line in the sand on Bitcoin so that you know exactly what we have to hold and stay above for us to slowly build or melt back up and for this to turn into a bullish move. Now, if you were like me and you bought the dip beneath 54K and you loaded the boat, you are up. Everything you bought ought to be up right now. Everything I bought is up right now, but I want to see those gains hold. I don't want to give them back. And so first of all, consider putting in your stop losses because we're not out of the woods. Just like I went over with the Magnificent Seven, Bitcoin, I saw it as an opportunity to buy. That's a little different than my view on the Magnificent Seven. I did do some nibbling on the Magnificent Seven. I'm in some positions on Amazon, Tesla, and NVDA, but When it comes to crypto, it's doing a little bit better. Is that pointing to a continuation of the bull market? I don't know, but let's check out what the line in the sand is for Bitcoin. Okay, guys, I want to remind you guys, I showed this to you that 54 was a place to buy, and we did get a bounce there. So I'm going to call that a win prediction. And I told you that we had to get back above 56,464. And we did. So at the moment, the trend is moving positively. Anything beneath 56,464, we go back bearish. And so you want to increase your caution and you want to be way more safe and protect your capital, because if we end up losing this 56,464 and we lose this 54K, then I want to remind you guys that I have made it very clear we're going to wick down to 47K, and it's going to cause a world of pain in the alts. At the moment, we're looking good, and we want to stay above 56,464. I want to remind you guys of what I showed you in the RSI. We're up against this line of resistance that we've yet to break out of on the RSI, which means the momentum has been kept at bay. If we get a crossover of that resistance line that you guys can see there, the yellow line, that's going to confirm the move all the way back up to 70,358. Now, I know a lot of people are like, okay, Josh, that's great on Bitcoin, but what should I expect is going on with my meme coins? That's going to be a topic of an upcoming video that I'm going to do with some of the guys, and we're going to be talking about the fact that meme coins, why did they outperform early on from the altcoins? So they ran up with Bitcoin, and ever since then, they've been being hit the hardest. So they've been underperforming. And so we're going to take a look at the meme coins, and I've got some opinions on that for you guys here in an upcoming show. We're going to do it tomorrow. So make sure you check it out. Hit that like and subscribe to get that video. Turn on the all notifications bell. Thank you for joining me today, and come check out what we're doing over in the ChartGoat University, the Stocks with Josh Discord. The link is www.stockswithjosh.com. Thanks for joining me today. Peace and blessings. Take care.